Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are doing quite a challenging bar workout that's going to include a little bit of low impact cardio. You don't need any equipment for this workout, but like I say, it is going to be a challenging one, so don't let that fool you. We will be standing at your bar or chair, as well as finishing down on the mat. So if you are ready, let's go. Hi guys, welcome back, or if you're new around here, welcome for the first time. My name is Sarah and I am posting mostly bar and Pilates workouts. Right now I'm posting once a week. Usually it's going to be on a Monday afternoon, so if you want to see more, of course, hit that subscribe button to come back for more. And you'll notice that for, the past several videos and the next several continuing, everything is going to be pregnancy and probably also postpartum friendly, as I am cruising into the end of my pregnancy right now. So perfect if you are at a similar stage to me or any stage of pregnancy, or also if you are not pregnant at all, these are still really great bar workouts. I've kept them pretty much just my standard bar workouts in terms of difficulty, all of that. So you don't need to feel like you're getting less here because it's pregnancy friendly. Couple of other things here before we get cracking. If you would like to catch up some more with me, you can follow me over on Instagram at F2D Fitness, and I post lots of other stuff there. So lots of stuff related to women's hormone health, more workouts, more fitness content, lots of things as far as nutrition, supplements, lifestyle, all of that stuff you can find over there. But we're going to get started with this one. You might see a cat coming or going. You might see 3 cats coming or going, but we're going to carry on nevertheless. So starting here with just a fairly quick warm up, we're going to do feet wide, toes just tracking forward. Just a normal squat. I'm going to show you on a diagonal just to show you angle of the torso. Weight is back in the heels, tucking butt under. We're here for 1 minute in 3, 2, 1. So just dropping down, like I say, weight in the heels, tucking up and under. Knees are tracking over toes. And nice little fold from the hips, but still thinking shoulders back. I'm thinking of drawing navel into spine, wrapping core in. Got Leo passing through right now. We got Layla just right there. Don't know if you can see her or not. We got Luna hissing in the background. It's a jamboree. It's a jamboree today. But you guys who have cats, you know, you can't control cats. I can't control what they're gonna do when the camera goes on. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. Couple more here. And then we're gonna warm up the hips a little bit more. So just standing here with one leg, you're just gonna start to do big hip circles outward. Knee is bent. I'm still keeping my hip bones square to the front here. So core is engaged, shoulders are level. So I'm not rocking around here, reverse direction. So circling inward, still that same leg. Again, we're just building a bit of warmth in the hips. Keeping navel to spine. Last one there, switch legs, we'll go outward first. And there go 2 of the cats. Again, still just thinking shoulders level here. And like I say, we're not rotating outward. Reverse directions. Circling inward. And if you have any clicking or popping in the hips, it's pretty normal. It feels all right. All right. Oh, hello. Take feet nice and wide here. Toes pointing forward. Wide side lunge here, so just going side to side. Again, weight is in the heels. We're pushing butt back, knee tracking over toes, really driving up through that bent leg. One thing that I sometimes see with these is that the torso really starts to lead it. So people are like pulling their torso up, then that's pulling the legs straight. The torso is not the leader here. It is the leg. Torso's along for the ride. So it's just sitting there on top of the hip, and it's that leg that's driving everything back up through center. Navel still into spine. Hey, Leo. Hey, buddy. Cat chaos today. It could be cat chaos because it's been raining all week in Madrid, so these guys have not gotten to go outside. So they're a little bit stir crazy. Do one more here. And then you can bring the feet slightly narrower, hands to the hips here, and you're just gonna keep a flat back, draw a circle with the torso going in one direction, and we'll reverse back. So knees can soften a little bit there, so you can let the hips just shift back a little bit as you're coming level to the hips. But thinking about keeping chest open, really long line there, tailbone through the crown of the head. And I'm sorry if I do sound just a little bit more out of breath than normal. That's just part of where I am in life right now at this moment. Little bit more here. These should feel really good again for the hips. It's a bit of a hamstring stretch as well. Do one last one. And then that is us warmed up. You can give everything a little bit of a shake out. Hey buddy, I'm not sure about you being there. All right, we're going to get into this now. So using my favorite interval for these bar workouts, which is going to be 50 seconds of work, followed by 10 seconds of rest. You'll have the timer here on the screen. So if there's a different interval that you would prefer to use, go at your level. You could do 40-20, 45-15, 30-30. Just keep it consistent, up to you though. So we're gonna do everything here on one side, then there will be a tiny little gap basically where we'll switch sides, okay? First exercise that we're gonna do is super wide second position, toes turned out, tailbone tracks straight down. You're gonna do a plie squat, little pulse at the bottom, drive up, squeezing everything nice and tight. So nice simple one to start, and then it's just gonna build and build and build. We start here though in 3, 2, 1. So for this one, you probably don't even need your chair or your bar. You could just do hands in front. You can do hands on the hips. You can use it, of course, if you want to keep that touch, that's fine. But really, most important thing here to focus on is that everything is going wide, okay? So tailbone, like I say, is tracking straight down. You can imagine a little laser beam coming out of your tailbone, and it should just be straight down to the floor. So it would just be a little tiny red dot on the floor, not a big line. That means shoulders are directly over wrists, head is on top of the shoulders. It's a straight line, what more can I say? But yeah, you're not tilted forward here. Sometimes I do see that. Do one more here. All right, next exercise, you're gonna be down in that plie squat, outside leg, we're gonna step in, heel CR, squeezing inner thighs, step back out in 3, 2, 1. So we step in, step wide. Again, throughout this entire thing, shoulders stay stacked over the hips. I'm doing a big push through my inside leg, my non-moving leg, really pushing through that heel, feeling that energy travel up that leg, especially thinking inner thigh and glute, and that's pulling this one in, engaging this outside inner thigh as well. So I'm squeezing inner thighs tight together at the top of the motion. And here's our little bit of low impact cardio. But really thinking range of motion primarily. Last one here. All right, next exercise. From that wide plie squat, we're gonna lift, turn the hip forward, straight leg, land back in the plie squat. Luna, I can't see my timer. All right, we're starting. Luna says no. So make sure you're landing wide each time. It's a big lift off, transfer the weight over that standing leg. Hip turns forward, hip opens out. Hip turns forward, hip opens out. Should be getting a good little burn in the legs now. Also using a bit of that outside oblique. Landing light, and like I say, landing wide. These are not coming in narrow. I'll show you what I mean. Sometimes this happens Oh my God, that's so lame. If you are doing that, stop doing that. Make it a big old motion. Do one more here. Good. All right. We're gonna stay down, outside leg. We're gonna pop up that heel and we're gonna be pulsing there. In 3, 2, 1. Still pressing knees back. That outside heel stays lifted. I'm thinking about tucking tailbone under, pulling navel in, shoulders down back. I warned you I was gonna be out of breath. It's all right. Try to bring it back down. But yeah, part of it is a bit of low impact cardio, and my lung capacity is not what it normally is. That's just the truth of it. Pushing this high heel forward, a little bit more here, hopefully feeling nice burn, inner and outer thighs. Last few seconds for 3, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna be moving now from this plie position. Turn both feet so they're pointing in toward your chair. Lunge, we open back out. Here we go. So plie, rotating, drop lunge, open back out. These ones really get me, not gonna lie. So yeah, like I say, you will have to rotate a little bit on both feet, unless you've got a perfect 180-degree turnout and that inside foot is already facing straight in toward your chair. For most of us, that's probably not the case. So you will need to pivot a bit on both. Just staying light on the feet. Again, keeping chest lifted, shoulders down back, staying low throughout. My legs, they are burning. One more here. We're gonna stay in the lunge. And now we're gonna be doing pretty much everything from that lunge position. So everything is square toward the chair here. We're gonna drop and pulse. Here we go. We do 1, 2, press up. 1, 2, press up. Thinking of tucking tailbone under so hips are square. Keep whatever leg is in front, that glute and hip, you're gonna keep tucked right underneath you. So just think about the sides of your torso right now. They should feel equal in length. It shouldn't feel like one side is really long and stretched and the other feels kind of cramped, because then that tells you that the hips are on different levels. And we don't want them to be on different levels. Now we're working a little bit more fronts and backs of the legs. So just working our way around. Do one more here. Okay, from that lunge position now, we're gonna be stepping, touch the back toes in. I'm staying low there, full drop to the lunge. Here we go. So it's a touch in, fully to lunge. Don't cheat that lunge. It's not a touch at the back. It's a full drop at the back. It's just a touch in. So you're never coming fully up straight to standing there. Again, navel into spine, keeping nice and engaged there. And here's our bit of low impact cardio. Could feel more or less cardio-tastic. Again, just depending on a few things. So if you are pregnant, it's probably feeling a little bit more cardio, or if you're doing a bit faster as well. Last one here, we go back to that lunge, and we're gonna be lifting off the back leg. So from all the way low, we lift, chest stays lifted. You're not doing a big like head butt tilt forward. It stays lifted. Here we go. So lift, squeeze that glute, drop back down. And I'm keeping tailbone tucked even on that lift. So like I said, I'm not doing a big tilt forward there. I'm not releasing through the hips and lower back. Oh boy. Pushing through that front heel. So leg that's in front, that's closer to your chair. You should be feeling hamstring and glute like whoa by now. One more exercise on this side. Last lift here. Final thing, we're gonna be down that lunge. We're gonna pop the front heel up and we're gonna pulse it. Surprise. All right, find that position. Here we go. And I'm thinking energetically of scissoring the inner thighs toward each other, tucking tailbone under. So I don't want this like big pop there. That's not correct. Hips should be tucked right underneath the shoulders. And like I say, energetically, thinking of scissoring the inner thighs toward each other. High heel lift in front. Thinking about engaging glute and hamstring of that front leg and just going low and slow here. If it's too quick with these pulses, it's often going to be coming from the joints. So in this case, that's most likely to be the knees. So just see how that feels. Right now I'm feeling a whole lot of this, right hamstring and a bit of the left quad. Go ahead, release. Oh, thankfully we get this little break here. This break is basically just for me to flip my chair around so we can do the other side. And for me to take a breath. Give the legs a little bit of a shake out though while we're here. My legs are definitely feeling warm. They're definitely feeling like they've had to do some stuff. And now we get to do all that song and dance on the second side. So starting back from the top, we're nice and wide here. We drop down, single pulse, squeeze all the way back up. Not such a bad one, a little bit of recovery. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Whew. I don't know, is it recovery at this point? I don't know. So still leaning, as always, keeping tailbone tucked under. That's just an important part. I repeat it so much because with any bar workout, it's gonna be a pretty important part of it that you're keeping that tuck. Because if you're losing that tuck, you're probably gonna be unloading a lot of the work into the lower back, into the hips, and then what's the point of all of this? What is the point? I want really to be working those deep core muscles, and then also, of course, glutes, inner and outer thighs. Almost done with this one. I wish we could just stay in this one forever. Last one there. Next one, from that plie position, we step in, land, plie. All right. In 3, 2, 1. So big push off, squeeze inner thighs together. So actively squeeze there. We're keeping the turn out. So heels come together, toes stay turned out, and we're keeping that turn out the whole way through. So as I step back out again, I'm not slanting forward with the torso. It's staying still straight up. So again, we have that image, tailbone through the crown of the head. That is a perfect straight line. Even if that means that you're not dropping quite as low in it, doesn't matter, it's still gonna be better. It's still gonna target more of what we want to target. And I made a big mistake starting on that other side first because this is gonna be my harder side, my non-dominant. Last one there. Next one, we turn hip forward, land wide. Again, you're not landing in here and then doing a little tiny lift. It's a big lift, big, wide land. Here we go. Turn forward, land softly. And I would always rather that you went really like full on, dedicated yourself to each of these exercises, doing each one as best as you possibly can, the most correct, best range of motion, and just did fewer. So yeah, feel free to change the intervals here. I choose a fairly advanced interval because I know some of you guys doing this are really advanced. You've done a lot of bar and you like that, but use whatever interval you want. You got the timer right there. Last one here. Okay, we stay down, heels popped. We're pulsing it here. In 3, 2, 1. Pulse it out. Still tucking, tailbone under. Hopefully a little bit of chance for me to catch my breath. Oh man. It's the talking while exercising. When I'm just doing a workout on my own, it's honestly not too bad. As far as being out of breath, it's really the talking while exercising that's starting to get me. But we're keeping on. I'm planning on putting out workouts pretty much until the end, so we got a few more weeks. All right, release there. Now it's the one that really kills me. Plie, we pivot on both feet, lunge. I don't know, why did these get me so much? All right, here we go. Plie, lunge. And again, both of those are full on. So we're not just pivoting on the feet. We're pivoting, drop down. Pivot, drop down. But make sure that everything is squared up, knees over toes, before you drop in either of those to protect the joints. Am I regretting doing 50-10 right now? A little bit. Maybe a little. 45-15 might have been a nice compromise, but we're in it now. There's no turning back. So I'm just gonna roll with it. Last one here, now we stay in that lunge position. So first one, again, not too bad. We drop, pulse, press up. Feet stay in the same place. All right, here we go. 1, 2, press up. Front heel is down for now. I'm thinking open through the chest, shoulders back, and again, tucking tailbone under. So you shouldn't have that big tilt or like hollow in the lower back. We're not popping tailbone back. It's a doozy. It's not an easy bar workout today. But we can do it. We can do it. Just focus on engaging those muscles as best you can, and they'll develop little by little. Last one here. All right, next one is gonna be that tap in, drop back in the lunge. In 3, 2, 1. Full lunge, touch in, full lunge. So there will be a little bit of a forward tilt as you touch in, but you are straight over the hips again in that lunge. Make sure you're stepping far enough back here to drop down into it, and you're stepping straight back. Don't let that foot open to the side. So that back heel doesn't need to touch down. It shouldn't touch down. You should not be able to get that back heel anywhere near the floor. I think the second half of this workout is gonna be a little bit easier. It's a bit more of the fine toning. Depends what your strengths are. Last one here. And also I'm saying that now, that could be not the case. All right, from the lunge, back leg lift, land in the lunge again. Here we go. Lift off, keeping chest lifted, crown of the head up to the ceiling. Squeeze that back glute. Again, we're landing light, dropping low into it. Back toes, stay tracking straight forward toward the chair. Big push through that front heel. Core engaged. Lots of stuff to think about. But one final exercise on this side after this one. Do not cheat this lunge. Whatever you do, you'll always know if you're cheating. If this feels easy, you're cheating. Do one more here. All right, we stay in that lunge. Front heel is gonna be lifted. We're pulsing there. Keeping tailbone tucked. Thinking inner thighs engaged toward each other. Here we go. Front heel's popped. Keep a bend in this back leg as well. Sometimes I see this. Oh, I could do this all day. I could literally do that. Well, I don't know, literally. I could do it probably for several minutes, to be honest, if that back leg were straight. It is so much easier doing that. We're not here to do the easy thing. We're here to do the hard thing. So keep tucking under. Again, you can check in with your torso. Both sides should feel equally long. So hips should feel like they're on the same level. 10 more seconds here. I'm scooping navel in from the front. I'm feeling very sweaty. And release. I got the upper lip sweat coming in strong. Have a little shake out here. Feel free to take a sip of water. Few nice deep breaths. Okay, legs are feeling real good now. We've still got another little standing section here before we come down to the floor. And just a warning, just because we're coming down to the floor, it doesn't mean that's gonna be easy either. It's not. So I'm gonna stay on this side. So my active leg is gonna be the outside leg, okay? Starting from a turned out position here, put a bend, tilt over that inside leg. Outside leg is gonna extend out, outer thigh up to the ceiling. We're gonna do a straight lift there. Again, could regret this, but I had already committed to it. I'm gonna be doing intervals of 50 seconds on, 10 seconds off, but feel free to do whatever you want there as long as it stays consistent. So again, we're gonna do everything on one side, then we're gonna switch and do the second side. There's not gonna be a break there between the two sides. So I'm gonna do a real quick switcheroo with my chair, and we're gonna go straight into the second side, okay? But there are a few exercises on this side first. All right, starting with that straight lift in 3, 2, 1. So lift and touch. And you can change these depending on what sort of angle you want to choose here. So you could go more to the elbow. I mean, I'm not putting weight in it. I'm just doing that level of tilt. You could stay up a little higher. This leg lift's going to be a little bit smaller that way. That's fine. Either of those is okay. So if you want bigger range, you'll tilt a little bit more. If you want a little bit less, stay up a little bit higher. But keep this leg super, super long. Note, again, I am keeping a bit of a bend in the standing leg and the outer thighs to the ceiling. So kneecap is pointing forward here, not down to the floor. Looking to stack the hips here. Squeeze at the top, press back down. Last one here, we're gonna keep it lifted. We're gonna pulse it. Yes, we are. Of course we are. Why wouldn't we? All right, lifting it back up. Here we go, little tiny pulses. I'm not using my whole body. I'm not throwing my whole body into this pulse. So I'm not over here like, whoa, all crazy and chaotic. Torso is solid. I've got navel into spine, so I'm engaged there. And I'm really just thinking this outer thigh and glute, squeeze, 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 keeping leg nice and long. And again, just check that you're not putting all your weight into your chair. So you should be able to lift away here. You could do this entire series with a balance. Yes, you could. The chair is really just optional. It's really just optional in bar. Makes it so we can focus a little bit more intensely on the legs without having to deal with balance too. But if you want to make it a balance challenge, do it. All right, go ahead, release. One more thing to the side here, and that's gonna be a knee to elbow. So we're extended here. We're gonna turn open the knee, squeeze in, extend. Oh, and we're into it. Here we go. Squeeze in, extend. Squeeze in, extend. I'm not doing these too quickly because you really wanna find a little pause on either side of it. Show the position. So full extension, pause, tuck in, little pause. Working into the obliques, and again, transverse abdominis. And again, I'm not just putting all my weight in the chair here. I'm using it for balance, but if I had to, I could lift and carry on. And I think bar is so, so good throughout pregnancy, because to be honest, I haven't noticed a massive change, last one here, in my balance. Stay on this side still. Outside leg is still your active leg. We're gonna bring in front, inner thigh to the ceiling, lift, lower. Here we go. inner thighs. Lift, lower. Keep that knee straight, knee out to the side, hips level. Could have a bit of a bend. Again, I have a little bit of a bend in the standing leg, pushing chest slightly forward, navel into spine. But yeah, because I have been working balance throughout with various workouts, I've done weights, I've done all sorts of things, but bar I've done throughout consistently. I haven't noticed much of a difference for me in terms of being able to maintain balance, because as my center of gravity has shifted, of course it has, I've been consistent working out every single week, so I haven't noticed that shift, even though it has occurred. Last one here. All right, we're gonna keep it up in front, little pulses here. So again, I'm not moving the whole torso, I'm just focusing inner thighs, little squeeze. Here we go, lift, lift. And the most important things here, it's not the height of the lift, it's the length of the leg and the turnout, okay? So it could be down here at the floor. If that's where it is, that's fine, as long as that leg is super, super straight and you've got it turned out. What's a problem is if you're here doing like a little march, that is not the move. So focus it on those muscle groups that we are planning on activating here. Activate those muscle groups and we will be all good. I'm feeling that inner thigh. Keep tucking, squeezing that supporting glute underneath. That's sort of the other half of the equation on these. And navel in, nice and tight. Watching the time because I'm hurting. Go ahead, release. One more thing in this position, we're gonna do a bend, extend. So knee is gonna kind of come out to the side, lifts, pushes straight in front again, full extension. Here we go. We open it, hips still stay pointing forward, extend. A little open to the side, extend. Pausing again on either end of those. So pause here, hello oblique. Pause here, hello inner thigh. I mean, to be fair, it's inner thigh the whole way. And this is gonna be the last thing on this side. So be prepared for a pretty quick transition after this one. If you have to like move your chair to keep watching me, then that's gonna be quick. I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be moving mine. But if you can just turn face the other direction, then that works too. Woo. Oh, she's burning. She is burning. Do one more here. All right, here we go. Here we go. Got just enough time. Shazam, and we're starting with that outer thigh lift. So find your turnout, extend outside leg, lift, and lower. Feeling my calves as well. There's not a lot that I'm not feeling right now. I guess upper body, right? We're pretty much leaving upper body alone. You guys can let me know down in the comments if you do want to see some more like upper body bar workouts, because I'm happy to do some more bar arms. Nothing against it. I just know that typically these kinds of bar workouts perform the best. So it seems like this is mostly what you guys want. I do also have several bar arms workouts as well as just general upper body arm workouts in my full collection of videos, so you can check those out too. Last one here. Next one's a pulse. You know it. I'm probably looking very shiny right now. I feel very, very sweaty. Lift it up, find that pulse. So still scooping navel into spine, not letting everything move. You can test that you're not just putting all your weight in your chair here. It's in the standing leg, soft little bend in the standing leg, and I'm looking to stack the hips here so it's not turning downward. Working the outsides. Keep it nice and straight. I don't know, I still think this second standing portion is easier than the first. I still think that. You can let me know what you think, but I don't know. This feels a little bit more relaxing to me, not gonna lie. Few more seconds here. I say that as I'm like looking at the clock, like when is it gonna end? Go ahead, release. Last thing out to the side here, knee to elbow, and extend. Okay, we're in the home stretch. Extend, squeeze, little pause, extend, little pause. Turning it open. So knee is gonna come slightly above the line of the hip. Everything's just super engaged. Feels good. Feels good to work these muscles. Feels good when you're done, that's for sure. When you're done, you've showered off. I'm definitely gonna need a shower after this. No doubt. Normally I would wait until the end of the day, but I think this is a case of like, I don't want to stew in this sweat all day. Because that's, ugh, it just starts to feel very gross. Do one more here. Whoop. Use my chair too much, there you go. All right, in that turned up position, inner thigh now. Soft bend the standing leg, push chest forward, lift, lower. So again, we're checking that the leg is straight and that it's turned out. Within that, if you can keep those two things and also do pretty big range of motion, well then go for it. Go for a bigger range of motion there. But it only matters if you've got those two things under control. So you're lifting pretty much in line with this standing leg. There's a bit of a crossover there. Again, that's gonna help engage inner thighs. I'm just bringing hand to belly right now because I do that. I've always done this, even before I was pregnant. I find it really helpful to just like touch lower belly to help engage lower abs. Something about that, it just sends your brain there, helps engage. One more here. All right, next one is the same, but pulse. Same but pulse. We're so close now to moving down to the floor. Lift it up, little tiny pulses here. So fair bit of lower abs on this one as well. Thinking squeeze, squeeze. But I'm not moving the whole torso. It's not like a big kind of swinging motion. It shouldn't be like that. It should feel really controlled. So I always tell people to slow down your pulses a little bit. Slow your roll. It's harder to do a slow pulse usually than a quick pulse. So check yourself there. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. If you're doing a big old fast pulse, you might think like, I'm really pushing it. You're probably actually just taking it a little bit easier. Because it's much harder to find and engage those muscles, find the control if you slow it down, but that's what we want. Tiny bit more here. Go ahead, release. We've got that bend, pulling it a little bit out to the side, extend, crossing straight in front again. This is not the last thing though. All right, lift it up, here we go. Open it out, press it forward. I'm still pushing my chest forward slightly, because if it kind of leans back here, let me kind of show you from the side here. If it starts to lean back, you're really gonna be throwing a lot into the lower back, and you're releasing the abs, which I don't particularly want to do right now, because I am pregnant and I don't want to have a bigger ab split. Don't want to do that. So I'm really thinking of wrapping everything in, but regardless whether you're pregnant or not, that's just good practice to think of wrapping everything in and around, staying nice and supported there. Deep breaths here, if you've got the capacity for it. No, deep breaths. Last one here. All right, final push here. You're gonna turn, face your chair. We're in that turned out position, heels together, so first position. We're gonna be dropping into a plie, pulsing it. So heels up, drop down, knees wide, little pulses here. I'm really thinking of wrapping my glutes kind of around and under, squeezing butt tight from either direction. Again, what we don't want is this. I could sit here for minutes doing that. It really changes the game when you're focused on the turnout, so pressing legs really wide and keeping tailbone tucked under, staying stacked straight over it, really, really squeezing the glutes. We've got one final standing exercise after this, and it's not a bad one at all. It's actually gonna be a really nice one to finish on, so you don't have to be afraid. This is like the last of the really hard stuff, I'm going to say. All right, release, heels down. We're just gonna do an elevate pulse. So legs are gonna be straight. I'm still squeezing everything in really tight. and you're just gonna drop the heels a little bit, pulse up. Here we go. So again, keeping that tuck, tailbone tucking under, navel tucking in, squeezing backs of legs together, zero bend in the knees here, and just little tiny rises there on the balls of the feet. Not a bad one. I mean, the calves are gonna start to burn. You could and should really feel it all the way up to the backs of the glutes, but compared to everything else that's happened, not a bad one at all. It's all just relative. A little bit more here. And release. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. All right, we have made it through the standing portion of this workout. So move your chair off to the side here. We're gonna find the way down to the side. Hooray, huzzah. So safely coming down to one side here, so supporting the core. You're gonna come onto the elbow here, so we're set up for a side plank from the knees. Just a note, intervals are gonna be same down here on the floor. Okay, we can do this. You're gonna be doing a lift up to a side plank with a clamshell. So heels will stay together as you lift. We open, a little pause at the top, press down. That up and down is driven from the hips, not the shoulders. So it shouldn't just be like a collapse, pop out, collapse, pop out. You're gonna stay popped out of it the whole time, really extended there. So we're lifting, we're already pushed away here. We're lifting energetically from the hips, light tap to floor. We start in 3, 2, 1. So press open, light tap. I'm not resting weight in the floor. Press open, touch. Squeezing inner thighs together. It's just a nice amount of rotation there. This is truly the finale. Once we come down to the mat, we're truly in the finale. And I think this has definitely been a challenging workout. Pregnant or not, like I said, I've been trying to really kind of keep everything at the same level. So you don't have to be pregnant to do these, but definitely a good challenge if you are, but definitely doable. Definitely doable. Last one here. All right, we are just gonna hold that side plank. Up to you, whether you wanna keep one or both knees down or go all the way to the feet. I'm gonna try to start from the feet. Go ahead, lift up. We'll see how long I make it here. It's a lot more weight than I'm used to carrying on these. So we'll see how long I make it. I'm probably gonna drop the knee at some point. Could be not too very long. I'm gonna shoot for half and half, but let's see. No, that's my limit. All right, I'm dropping the knee. That's better. Navel into spine. But yeah, still definitely a challenging workout, even if you are not pregnant. The main difference right now is that I'm not doing all of the like crazy ab workouts, right? So if you guys have been with me for a while, have done a lot of my videos, you know that I love a good ab workout. I'm a big, big fan. Go ahead, release, flip to the other side here. But that is not happening at this stage in my life. But you can still find all of those videos. All right, here we go. Second side, lift with a clamshell. So those videos have gone nowhere. I think I have a whole playlist, in fact, dedicated to ab workouts. And some of those are a real doozy. In fact, a lot of them are a real doozy. So if you guys are not pregnant and you're like, I still want to finish with some really intense abs, go find one of those. Go find one of those workouts. They're right there waiting for you. And I'm not gonna lie, I am so looking forward to getting back to some of those workouts on the other side. When I see you on the other side. Do one more here. All right, we're holding that side plank. So whatever you did on the first side, match it here on the second. That means I'm gonna start from my feet. Here we go. To be fair, this is actually my stronger side, planking side. Navel to spine, pushing up out of that bottom shoulder, pushing up out of the hips. It's still really killing me, not gonna lie. I'm gonna drop my knee. That's better. That is better. And after this one, just so you are prepared mentally and physically, we're gonna come down onto the back. Actually, no. I'm gonna change the order. You're not gonna come back onto the back. You're gonna come to a seated position with legs in front. I will show you in 3, 2, 1. All right, seated position here. Hands underneath shoulders. Let's do feet narrow, legs narrow. We're gonna scoop up. So you're gonna lift up, reverse table at the top, open, close, butt comes down. We're going for it. So big lift, open through the chest, press out, squeeze in, lower down. So good bit of total body. Ooh, I feel a bead of sweat just dripping down the side of my face. Love that. I do actually really hate sweating. I love working out. I even enjoy summer and working out in summer somewhat, but I really hate sweating. I don't like the feel of it. I don't like it. I don't know. Last one here. And release. We're gonna lift up there. You're either gonna hold that reverse table or you're gonna extend the legs long into a reverse plank. So lift it up. You can hold here or legs extending all the way long, holding reverse plank, keeping glutes engaged. So you're not just dangling here out of the shoulders. Really press up and away. Using the whole back body, squeezing shoulder blades together. Really good one. Postnatal especially, but good one to keep up with in pregnancy as well. And just all the time. Good complement to front planks. I know I do love a good front plank, but these are good. These are real good. Last several seconds here. If you're out in plank and need to walk the feet back in, you can. Here's 3, 2, 1. Release. Okay, now we're gonna come down onto the back. So coming down carefully to the back here. We're gonna start from a butterfly position here. So heels together, toes turned out, arms by the sides, lift, squeeze inner thighs together, open, back down. So bridge lift with a leg adduction. We're squeezing together, tap down. Exhale up, inhale down. Second to last exercise. How is lower body feeling? This was with no equipment, just body weight. I feel like this has been more intense than some of the weighted workouts I've done recently, honestly. So yeah, don't let it fool you. Don't let it fool you. Bar is always just that way, isn't it? Last one there. All right, our final exercise. You're just gonna take feet, legs, super narrow here. We're gonna lift up into the bridge and we're just gonna pulse the bridge. Lift it up, here we go. So really finding that pulse from the glutes rather than the hips or lower back. Think of releasing the tuck under. Keep squeezing inner thighs tight. Shoulders are relaxed. Find a little pause in each of those squeezes. Again, fast is not better here. Controlled is better. So hold in that squeeze. You should be spending more time engaged than like released in these. I'm keeping an eye on the time, so if you see me just lifting my head, you shouldn't because you're gonna be down just pulsing here. So you keep your head down. Nose to the grindstone. Last few seconds here. And release. Give the knees a hug in. Just take the knees wide here. Take a little rock. side to side. That feels real good. Real good. All right, I'm gonna give you two options here. So if you're not pregnant and it feels good to stay lying down on your back, you'll take a supine pigeon here, so crossing one ankle over opposite knee, and then you're gonna grab behind that leg, pull in. You might even be able to do this one if you're pregnant, just see how it feels for you. Otherwise, I am gonna show you the true pregnancy modification, which is gonna be the same thing, but in a seated position. So seated pigeon, hands behind, pressing chest up into it. So you have either of those options. And with either of those options, if you're lying all the way down, you can start to rock a little side to side. Same thing here if you're seated, you can just start to drop the legs a little bit side to side. Getting some of those other angles of the hips. Lovely, lovely. All right, go ahead, release. We'll switch sides. Feels good. Really good stretch also for preventing sciatica in pregnancy or any time, but if you've never experienced sciatica before, it can kind of creep in sometimes in pregnancy. I have not experienced it, which is great because it sounds pretty terrible. Not gonna lie, I've worked with people who've had sciatica. It sounds pretty awful. But yeah, just stretching it out, staying moving really does help. All right, go ahead, release here. If you are down on your back here, just come up to seated. We'll take a butterfly position here. So feet together, knees dropping open, and you can just press over it. Maybe you want to take a little bit of a lean side to side. I feel so sweaty right now. I don't know how much is coming up on camera, but my face feels very shiny. So what it is. And then let's extend the legs out, wide straddle position here. You can press forward. Let's actually take a little reach side to side here. So up and over to one side, up and over to the other side, and then coming down in center. That feels good. You can still kind of wiggle out the hips a little bit there, side to side, whatever feels good here with these stretches. Just really trying to release and then bring the legs in because we are done. We've made it through that workout. So definitely a challenging one, I think. If you agreed and you like to see a nice challenging bar workout and you want to see more, hit that like button down below. And of course, while you are there, hit subscribe to come back for more. We still have several weeks. There's still several weeks to come here. That's my plan anyway. While you're down there also, you can go ahead, drop me a comment, let me know if you're doing this workout while pregnant, postpartum, or just any time, and how it went for you. But I will see you guys back here soon. Bye.